Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and I'm here to talk about colonizing the stars. There are almost an endless number of locations out there, and it is now perhaps time for us to move out into them. The game world on Elite is extremely large, one of the largest ever created, and quite probably is actually the largest ever created. There are 400 billion systems out there, a mind-bogglingly huge number. The space players currently occupy with stations, missions, bounty hunting and all the rest of it is actually extremely small by comparison. Outside of this space in which players dwell, there are a vast number of sites and areas that are distinct, unique and very beautiful. This, of course, has been noticed by the vast majority of players, and there are many players that would like to do something about this. With this in mind, a movement of players and group leaders has come together to form a collective group called the Pioneer Cooperative, and they are kicking off with a competition and a player-run event, but more on that a little bit later. Essentially then, there are a lot of places out there for all types of players, whether you like PvP, exploring, trading, piracy or indeed any other profession. Getting us out of the current inhabited bubble and into the wider galaxy is something that would hugely benefit the game as a whole. Last year saw the successful colonization of a previously uninhabited system in the Pleiades Nebula. From an immense combined effort from the player base, one of the largest and most successful community goals ever saw the construction of a new space station, Obsidian Orbital, out in one of the local beauty spots of the game. This area is now a very popular location for many players and has broadened how and where people can play. Because of the levels of participation in this community goal was so successful, Frontier expressed an interest in developing further such events. The community as a whole then has shown that it can be done, and the community has shown that there are a lot of players out there that very much like this sort of thing. For all of those reasons, the Pioneer Cooperative, a collective of groups and players, has the common goal to colonize the galaxy. Now, keep in mind that this initiative isn't an exclusive club, and it doesn't have an agenda to own the stars or become king of the galaxy. It's simply a loose-knit collection of players and groups, all with different backgrounds and playstyles, that want to come together to see the expansion of inhabitable space. What the individuals, players and groups ultimately end up doing is completely up to them. The initiative is being put together by Walt Kerman, Tange Redshirt and Ben Ryder, all of whom have had a lot of involvement with previous successful community goals, along with a bit of involvement from me as well. For more information on this, there is a very detailed forum thread which I will link to in the video description. Player groups and individuals are welcome to sign up to the group, but this isn't a requirement. It's merely a statement saying that yes, I'm interested in this initiative and colonizing the stars. And of course, players can join in all events without actually signing up. But signing up does help Frontier gauge interest in the activities going on here, and potentially makes it a bit more likely that we could get a community goal out of these events. So although it's not mandatory, I would perhaps be inclined to encourage it somewhat. Now, one of the ideas behind the Pioneer Cooperative is about bringing the community together to make it easier for Frontier to decide for themselves if a community goal is worth their time, as well as to help them gauge the amount of player interest. If community goals don't get born from any of this, then at the very least there should be a bunch of interesting and fun player-run activities and events. But like I say, for more information and details, do check out the forum thread if you're interested. So, on to the competition and the first player-run event then. Here's what has been posted on that. This is what the forum thread has to say. The Pioneer Cooperative is placing a bounty on a popular colonization site in the general direction of the core. Systems will be submitted to this thread, and once the competition ends, a vote will take place to determine the community's top 3 choices for colonization. The top 3 will win for a free choice of a paint job or ebook from the Frontier store page. The paint jobs and ebooks are kindly being donated by Frontier. That's an overview of the competition then. What is being sought after is a system that contains an Earth-like planet along with a pristine metallic ring somewhere in the same system. The idea for this is that the new colony would then be able to be self-sufficient. Here are the specific requirements for what is being looked for. It needs to be a system that has at least one Earth-like, that has pristine metallic reserves, It needs to be a system that's between 2,500 and 5,000 light years away from Sol, and also needs to be in the general direction of Sagittarius A. There are also a few more requirements, and you can see them in the video description. Now, the ultimate aim is that hopefully one of these winners will be chosen as a site by Frontier for a future community goal as a colonization prospect. But that, of course, is at the discretion of Frontier, and there may or may not ultimately be a community goal arising from this. But at the very least, it is an interesting event with real prizes that will give future travellers specific and probably very interesting locations to go visit. As you can probably see from the footage in the background here, there are a whole ton of gorgeous looking sites out there. Some spectacular looking nebula, some great looking planets, and black holes, many other things like that. Now just imagine trading amongst those stars, among those locations. Imagine doing some piracy out there, some bounty hunting, and all the other activities that you traditionally do in regular inhabited space. Getting out there into those wonderful looking locations, I think would be something that really does open up the game tremendously. So if that sounds like something that interests you, or something that you do want to get involved in, do head over to the respective threads and check them out. There's a whole lot of information there. Just as a reminder then, on a separate but somewhat related note, that the Distant Worlds expedition is heading out tonight. There are 2 departure times for it. The first departure for the UK is happening at 8 PM, that's 8 PM in game time, and the second departure for the US people is happening at 2 AM in game time, and that is actually 6 PM on the west coast and 9 PM on the east coast. Everyone will be meeting up in the Colonize system. I'll add the details into the video description. The fleet is now over 800 players strong, so a very large fleet indeed, and a sight to behold. Probably something well worth coming along just to see, even if you don't really fancy actually doing the event itself. And of course, everyone is still welcome to attend. Even if you haven't registered for the event, you can still come along. Just join and tag along in open, or your own private group, or even in solo if you're so inclined, and just come into open or whatever on the waypoints. Xbox players are also more than welcome to come along. Now, one of the other reasons I mentioned the Distant Worlds expedition is that this will be a fantastic opportunity to get involved into the Pioneers Cooperative competition. The Distant Worlds expedition is heading out in the exact same direction that the competition is searching for its Earth-like planets in. So this will give you more than enough opportunity to actually find something, and you'll be able to go along with hundreds of players at the same time. So 2 events all rolled into one. You can't ask for much better than that, I think. For those of you that are going along to Distant Worlds, I'll see you all tonight. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant. I'm here to talk about the Distant Worlds expedition, a journey to the opposite side of the galaxy, over 65,000 light years away. It's a journey that's going to be undertaken by the largest fleet ever assembled in game, with over 700 players signed up. This is an odyssey which has never before been attempted, yet as players cross the largest game world ever created, they will see sights no one in the inhabited space has ever seen. In the background you can see just a few of the things I've experienced on my extensive travels into the depths of this galaxy, a galaxy which holds many wonders.